Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. Today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful scuba net bubu style with asooke patches. It is very easy to make. Please make sure that you watch and listen attentively to the end of this tutorial. I shared important information about the neckline and the texture of the fabric. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. The name of the fabric that I use for the body is called scuba net, and I bought 3.5 yards because I want the length to be around my ankle, and I also bought different colors of asooke. These asooke, I bought them in pieces. There are some people that sells asooke in pieces, while some don't sell in pieces. They only sell in pack. That means you have to buy the full pack. Each of these pieces is sold for 1,500 naira. So after buying the fabric, you will use the fabric to start selecting the asooke that matches with the fabric you want to use. So that's what I did. First of all, I bought the scuba fabric, 3.5 yards. I took the fabric to where they are selling asooke pieces. Then I started selecting asooke that matches with the color of the scuba net. So that's what I did. So without further ado, let's move right to the tutorial. Next, fold the scuba net into 4 and place it nicely on the table. Next, I measured shoulder to my ankle length. This style of bobo is usually beautiful when it is 3/4 or your ankle length. I measured neck width 3.5 inches. You can measure 3 inches. I measured neck depth for the back 1 inch. I measured neck depth for the front 15 inches. Then I curved the neckline. On the 15 inches neck depth for the front bodies, I measured 1.5 inches. I rule a straight line to the folded edge. Then from the 1.5 inches, I connect it to the neck width, like so. From my center back to my sleeve length, I measured 21 inches. Mind you, I'm going to still add band to the edge of the sleeve. For my sleeve opening, I measured 13 inches for the sleeve opening. Then I rule a straight line. For the wideness of the body, I measured 19 inches. This 19 inches is my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 6 inches. You can use any wideness of your choice, but I use 19 inches for mine. So I measure this 19 inches straight to the hemline. The wideness of the body is my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 6 inches. This style of bubu is usually free. It is not always fitted. So when you are making yours, make sure you add about 5 or 6 inches to the biggest measurement on your body divided by 4. Then I connect the body to the sleeve and I curve the armhole. Then for the side slits, this is optional. You can decide to add side slits to yours or not. For the side slit, I measured 17 inches. From the hemline, I measured 17 inches upward and I mark it. That's for my side slit. That's about it, guys. So it's time to cut it out. I cut out the back neckline. Then I cut the length and the sides. Always remember to notch your side slits. After cutting, I will separate the back from the front bodies to cut the front neckline. I cross-check the front neck depth to make sure that it's still 1.5 inches that I'm cutting. Then I trace the neckline. Next, you will measure the neckline. From one side of the front neck depth, you will measure the length through to the back, like so, then back to the front neck depth on the other side. Whatever measurement you have, add extra 4 inches or 3 inches to it to be on the safe side. From the asooke pieces, you will pick any color for the lapel design. On the asooke, you will measure the length of the neckline, the one I asked you guys to measure, and add extra 4 or 3 inches to it. So this is the length you'll be needing for the lapel. Then for the width, at this point, you can measure any width of your choice. I always love to measure 5 inches for my width. Then when it is unfold, it will be 2.5 inches. Then after using 1/2 inch to sew the lapel to the neckline, I will be left with 2 inches height. This 2 inches height is always comfortable for me around the neckline. When it is more than 2 inches height, it is always inconveniencing me around the neckline. So that is why I always measure 5 inches for my lapel. You can measure 6 inches for yours if you love your lapel to be high, but I measured 5 inches for mine. Unfold is 2.5 inches. The next thing to do, I'm going to sew the lapel to the neckline. I'm going to fold the asooke and sew from one side of the neck depth of the front. I'm going to sew it to the other side. This is why I always advise to always add extra 3 or 4 inches to the length of the neckline when cutting the asooke for the lapel. It is better to have excess than to have shortage. Next, I'm going to measure the width of the sleeve opening. Then I'll cut it out on the asooke. I measured the opening sleeve length on the asooke. This is for the band for the sleeve. Then for the height, I measured 5 inches. You can use any measurement of your choice at this point. Also, you can also use the same asooke for this design. There's no particular method of making this style. You can be creative. You can use only 2 asooke. You can use only 1 asooke to make this style. It depends on your preference. So after cutting, I will place the asooke on fold and sew it to the edge of the sleeve like so. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Then for the patches, I placed all the remaining asooke on each other. All the remaining asooke that I have, I place them on top of each other. The asooke width is 6.5 inches and they are all the same. So I place them on top of each other. At this point, you can use any length of your choice for the patches. I measured 10 inches for mine. I measured 10 inches interval to the length of the asooke. After that, I cut it out. I'm going to place these patches both on the front bodies and back bodies. You can arrange them anyhow you like. I don't have enough fabric left for the pocket, so I pick pieces from the floor, then I cut it out. Then the remaining asooke pieces that I used for the lapel, I folded it into 2. I cut it out, then I place it to the edge of the pocket. I'm going to sew the asooke to the edge of the pocket like so. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side as well. For the placement of the pocket, you first of all mark your shoulder line. After that, you measure from your shoulder to 20 inches. You mark it on one side. Repeat the same thing on the other side as well, from your shoulder to 20 inches. After that, locate the midpoint of the front bodies. Measure from the neck depth. then mark the midpoint of the neck depth. Then from the midpoint that you mark, you will measure on one side 3 inches away from the midpoint. Measure on the other side as well, 3 inches away from the midpoint. After you must have joined the asooke to the edge of the pocket, then you will place your pocket to the 3 inches that you mark away from the midpoint and stitch it down. You will fold the edges of the pocket. You repeat the same thing on the other side as well. After you have done that, then you will place the patches on the front bodice and the back bodice. At this point, you will arrange the patches anyhow you like. Then you will pin it down. After pinning it down, then you will take to your sewing machine, fold the edges of the patches and stitch it down to the bodice. So we are sewing the pockets to the bodice. At this point, we have already sewed the asooke to the edge of the pocket. As you can see, as we are sewing the pockets to the bodice, we folded the edge with 1/2 inch. The width of the pocket is 11 inches, then the length is 9.5 inches. You fold the edge with 1/2 inch, then you sew it to the bodice like so. You repeat the same thing on the other side. After sewing the pockets, you place the patches under the pockets. You arrange it anyhow you like. Arrange the colors anyhow you like. You can place some horizontally, then you can place some vertically. You repeat the same thing on the back bodies as well. After you've arranged it, then you take to your sewing machine and stitch it down to the bodice. You pin it down and stitch it down to the bodice. I placed 6 patches on the front bodice and 6 patches on the back bodice. You can use more or less, it depends on your preference. After pinning, you will take to your sewing machine and stitch them down. Then you will use matching thread for each of the asooke. You fold the edges and stitch it down. Whenever I'm sewing lapel neckline design, this is what I always love to do. First of all, mark 1/2 inch away from the edge of the neck depth. Then place your lapel like so. Make sure that your sewing starts from that 1/2 inch. Don't let it exceed the 1/2 inch. At this point, if you want to back stitch, do it gently so that when you are back stitching, it will not exceed that mark. Then start sewing the lapel to the neckline with 1/2 inch round to the other side. When you get to the other side, you will sew it slowly. Make sure that it will not exceed the 1/2 inch mark as well. After sewing, you will notch the neck depth. From the neck depth, you will notch it to the stitch line. That ½ inch that we mark, you will notch it to that point close to the stitch line. You will repeat the same thing on the other side as well. After that, you will turn the asooke to the wrong side and top stitch. Please listen to this part carefully. It was at this point that we realized that the scuba net fabric stretches more than the measurement that I cut on the front neck depth. Remember, when I was cutting the front neck depth, I measured 1.5 inches from the folded edge. Then from the 1.5 inches, I connected straight to the neck width. After cutting 1.5 inches, when you open it up, you are supposed to have 3 inches. The lapel that I cut after sewing, I have 2 inches on each side, making it 4 inches. So the lapel is supposed to overlap with 1 inch, because the width that I'm supposed to have on the front neck depth supposed to be 3 inches, because I measured 1.5 inches on the front neck depth. So since I have 4 inches lapel, so it's supposed to overlap with 1 inch, but we realized that it did not overlap the way we want it to overlap. After measuring what I have on the neck depth, on the front neck depth, I have 4 inches, and it's not supposed to be up to 4 inches because I measured 1.5 inches on the neck depth, meaning the scuba net fabric stretches more than what you measure. The scuba net fabric stretches a little. So now that we realize that it can affect your measurement, mostly when you are making lapel neckline, so I will advise that on the front neck depth that I measure 1.5 inches, do not measure the 1.5 inches, measure 1 inch. You can see the 1.5 inches that I measured on fold. I'm supposed to have 3 inches when I open it up. Now I have almost 4 inches. That is why my lapel did not overlap the way I want it to overlap. So I will advise that on the front neck depth, where I measured 15 inches, that I measured 1.5 inches. Do not measure the 1.5 inches. For yours, measure 1 inch or 1¼ inches. So at this point, we realize that we have no option than to bring the lapel closer to make it overlap on each other. It's not supposed to be so. It's supposed to overlap naturally on its own. So we decided to bring it closer to make it overlap. So she removed the pin. Then we will now try to bring it closer to overlap. On each other. This lapel neckline was supposed to overlap naturally on its own if the scuba net did not stretch more than the 1.5 inches that I measured. So because it stretches more than 1.5 inches that I measured, so we are trying to overlap it and pin it down. We are going to stitch down this part that we pin down. We are going to stitch it so that the overlap is going to stay in place. Also, if you use 3 inches on fold for your lapel instead of the 2.5 inches that I use, this part you'll be fine with it. Your lapel will overlap naturally on its own. But I don't like to use 3 inches on fold because of the height of the lapel. It will now be 2.5 after sewing. I don't like 2.5 inches height. I told her that I still want it to overlap again so that my cleavage won't be showing. So I told her to first of all stitch it down at the lower part where we pin. Let's hold that part down first. Then we'll overlap it and top stitch on each other. After sewing, so we decided to stitch down the overlap using matching thread on the asooke so that it won't be obvious. So this was how we were able to adjust the neckline. Next is to sew the sides. Sew the side slits, give it a good press, hem the down part, and that's about it for today's tutorial. We've come to the end of today's tutorial, guys. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you've not done so. I have so many beautiful luxury bubu tutorials coming up, and I bet you don't want to miss it. Also remember to click the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Until I come your way next, please stay safe and remain blessed. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye for now.